My intention wasn't to hurt him. The remark was meant to be a gentle nudge, a teasing quip to lighten the oppressive air of a moment too dense to endure. He'd always sworn to protect me, promising that no danger could reach me as long as he stood by my side. For a while, I believed him without question. His presence cloaked me in a warmth and safety I'd never experienced before. But slowly, something changed. It started subtly, like a tiny crack in a foundation you thought was indestructible. That crack grew, and before long, the life we'd constructed together began to crumble. I still recall that evening vividly. We sat side by side on the couch, wrapped in a silence born of weariness not deep enough to drift into sleep, but too heavy to pierce with conversation. The TV murmured in the background, replaying an episode we'd seen a dozen times, its noise fading into a monotonous hum. My thoughts wandered, as they often did in those days, knotted in worries about things I couldn't fix. We were so close, physically, yet worlds apart. Emotionally, the stillness between us felt like a current dragging me under. Then, without forethought, I spoke. "You're not as invincible as you think," I said, the words tumbling out before I could measure their weight. There was no malice in my tone, not really. I didn't mean to cut him. But beneath my words lay a quiet resentment, a feeling that he wasn't the unshakable force I'd once believed him to be, that his vows of protection were empty, mere whispers without weight. It wasn't that I questioned his devotion to me. It was that he never expressed it in the ways I longed for. I was angry with myself, too, for hoping he could be my everything, for craving a flawless ideal no one could embody in this flawed world. So, I let the jest slip out. The kind you say when you're too scared to confess you're frightened that maybe, when it truly counts, he won't be there. His face tightened. For a brief moment, I caught a glimmer of hurt in his eyes, mixed with bewilderment perhaps, even disbelief. But he didn't speak, not at first. He rose from the couch, and I thought he was just stepping away to grab a drink or distract himself with some small task. But he didn't. He walked straight to the door and left. My pulse quickened as I watched him go, but I told myself it was nothing serious. He'd come back. He always had. Except this time, he didn't. That night, I lay awake, listening for the sound of his key turning in the lock, but it never came. By dawn, his side of the bed remained untouched, the sheets pristine and cold. His belongings, his jacket, his shoes had vanished, leaving behind a hollow ache. I didn't know what to think or how to feel. I tried to convince myself he just needed time, that this was temporary. But deep down, I knew. My thoughtless remark had struck deeper than I'd ever meant it to. I'd belittled the one thing he cherished most, the strength that grounded him when everything else felt unsteady. In the days that followed, I tried desperately to reach him, to say I was sorry, to explain that I hadn't meant to wound him. But his silence was deafening. His phone went straight to voicemail, my texts left unanswered. I sat in the living room, staring at the empty space where we used to share quiet evenings, wrestling with how it had all fallen apart. When had it started? The small oversights, the moments that seemed trivial at the time, but piled up into something ruinous. Was it his increasing distance, or my own subtle ways of pushing him away without noticing? I kept replaying that night, analyzing my words. What was I trying to convey with that quip? That I didn't trust him? That I questioned his endurance? That I saw fragility where he saw fortitude? I wasn't certain, but I couldn't take it back. I spent hours poring over old photos, searching for the moment we'd lost our way. One image halted me, a snapshot from years past, when happiness flowed effortlessly. His arm was wrapped around me, my laughter, radiant and genuine. His smile, broad and unguarded, used to make my heart skip. I once thought we were unbreakable, that our connection was singular, fated to last. But now, I stood alone in a home that felt vast and empty without him. I thought I knew him, understood the man he was, but I hadn't considered the weight he carried, the insecurities he concealed behind his resolute exterior. Perhaps I'd never truly seen him not the way he needed to be seen. I'd only seen the version I wanted, and that was my mistake. I hadn't given him space to be vulnerable, to share his doubts or fears. I expected him to be my foundation, but I never asked if he needed me to be his. I thought I could stand alone, that I didn't need anyone to prop me up. I was mistaken, and now he was gone. Questions plagued me. Had he truly loved me, or had we both been caught in a delicate facade of love, one that couldn't withstand a single misstep? In the quiet of those solitary days, I came to see that strength isn't about concealing weakness. It's about falling apart and getting back up, trusting someone will be there to catch you. But I hadn't been there for him. Now, I face the consequences of my words. I don't know if he'll come back or if he'll ever forgive the careless remark I let slip. What I do know is that I can't keep pretending I'm unbreakable when I'm shattering inside. I have to face the truth. I pushed him away when I needed him most. Perhaps one day, I'll find the courage to reach out again. Perhaps one day, he'll walk back through that door. But for now, I stand here, learning to find strength within myself. And that's the most difficult lesson of all.